In 2026, your greatest advantage will not be your voice, it will be your silence. While the world talks more, explains more, and exposes more, the powerful are learning how to disappear, observe, and move in silence. Stay until the end of this speech because one lesson here may save you years of struggle. We live in a time where everyone is speaking, yet very few are being heard. People announce their plans, they share their struggles, they explain their pain, they seek validation, and yet they remain stuck. Silence is misunderstood. People think silence is weakness, they think silence means fear, but silence is not empty. Silence is discipline. In 2026, the ones who will rise are not the loudest but the most controlled. If you truly listen to this message until the end, you will understand why silence is not passive. It is power in its purest form. Silence is not the absence of sound. Silence is the presence of control. Every day, your energy is being pulled in many directions. Conversations you don't need, explanations no one truly requires, arguments that lead nowhere, opinions that change nothing. Each word you release carries a cost. Most people are unaware of this cost, and that is why they feel tired even when they have done nothing meaningful. Energy is not only physical, it is mental, it is emotional, and once wasted, it does not return easily. When you speak without intention, you give your energy away. You explain yourself to people who are not listening. You defend your choices to those who do not respect your path. You respond emotionally when silence would have preserved your strength. Over time, this constant leakage leaves you drained, confused, and reactive. Silence is a boundary. When you choose silence, you choose to keep your energy inside. You stop feeding distractions. You stop satisfying egos, both yours and others. You begin to move with awareness instead of impulse. Silence creates a protective space where your energy can settle, recover, and grow. In silence, the mind slows down. When the mind slows, clarity appears. You begin to notice how often you speak to fill emptiness, to seek validation, or to escape discomfort. Silence forces you to sit with yourself. At first, this feels uncomfortable. Most people avoid silence because it exposes them, but discipline begins exactly there, where comfort ends. Silence teaches restraint. Restraint is power. A person who can hold their words can hold their emotions. A person who can hold their emotions can hold their direction. When you remain silent in moments of provocation, you conserve energy that others waste on reaction. While they argue, you observe. While they complain, you prepare. Silence does not mean submission, it means selection. You select when to speak. You select where to invest energy. You select which battles deserve your voice. Not every situation deserves your explanation. Not every person deserves access to your thoughts. Silence helps you protect what is valuable. Look at nature. The strongest forces are quiet. Mountains do not announce their strength. The ocean does not explain its depth. The sun does not argue its importance. Power does not chase attention, it simply exists. When you move in silence, your energy becomes concentrated. Concentrated energy becomes presence. Presence makes others listen even when you say nothing. This is why a calm, silent person can command a room without raising their voice. Their energy is not scattered, it is contained. In 2026, the world will be louder than ever. Opinions will multiply, noise will increase. Those who speak constantly will feel exhausted, overwhelmed, and lost. Those who master silence will remain grounded. Silence gives you space to choose wisely. It prevents emotional spending. It protects your focus. It allows your energy to build instead of burn. Do not waste your strength trying to be understood by everyone. Do not explain your growth to those who benefit from your stagnation. Let silence protect you while you work. Speak when your words add value. Remain silent when your energy is more important. Because energy preserved today becomes power tomorrow. Awareness is the ability to see clearly, and clarity does not come from noise, it comes from silence. Most people believe awareness is something you gain by learning more, reading more, listening to more opinions, but the truth is different. Awareness appears when you remove excess, not when you add it. Silence removes the unnecessary so the essential can be seen. When you are constantly speaking, your attention is outward. You are busy responding, explaining, defending, impressing. In that state, you cannot truly observe. You are participating, not perceiving. Silence pulls your attention back inside and allows you to watch without interference. In silence, the mind becomes an observer. You begin to notice details you previously missed. Tone of voice, body language, pauses between words. You sense intentions behind actions. You understand people not by what they say, but by how they behave when you say nothing. Most people reveal more in your silence than in your questions. When you stop filling the space with words, others fill it for you. They talk more, they expose more, they show you who they are. Silence becomes a mirror in which truth reflects naturally. Silence also sharpens awareness of yourself. When there is no external noise, your inner patterns become visible. You start to notice your impulses, The urge to interrupt, to justify, to react. You see how quickly emotions arise and how strongly they want expression. This observation is powerful. The moment you see an impulse clearly, it loses control over you. Awareness creates distance. Distance creates choice. Without awareness, you react automatically. With awareness, you respond deliberately. Silence creates the gap between stimulus and response. In that gap lies freedom. In a loud world, people are conditioned to react instantly. Messages demand immediate replies. Opinions demand instant agreement or disagreement. Silence breaks this conditioning. It slows time. It gives you space to think before you act. A silent person is not slow. They are precise. They speak less because they see more. They move carefully because they understand consequences. They do not rush into decisions because they are aware of the full picture. Silence also sharpens situational awareness. When you are silent, you sense the atmosphere of a room. You feel tension before words escalate. You recognize opportunities before they are announced. You understand dynamics without needing explanations. This level of awareness cannot be taught through theory. It is developed through stillness. Noise numbs perception. Silence restores it. In silence, your senses become refined. You listen deeply. You notice patterns. You connect dots others overlook because they are too busy talking. This is why disciplined individuals often seem intuitive. It is not intuition. It is awareness sharpened by silence. In 2026, information will be everywhere, but understanding will be rare. Those who constantly consume noise will feel confused. Those who cultivate silence will see clearly. Silence trains you to wait. Waiting trains awareness. When you wait without anxiety, you allow reality to reveal itself. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop projecting assumptions. You allow facts to surface naturally. This is not passivity. This is intelligence in its highest form. Silence sharpens awareness by removing distortion. It clears emotional fog. It grounds perception in reality. It allows you to move with insight instead of impulse. Speak less, see more, and let awareness guide every step you take. Truth does not shout. Truth waits. In a world filled with explanations, justifications, and opinions, truth is often buried beneath noise. People speak to control narratives, to protect images, to hide uncertainty. The more someone talks, the more they shape perception. Silence removes this protection. It allows reality to appear as it is. When you remain silent, you stop influencing the moment. And when influence disappears, truth surfaces. Most people feel uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill it. They speak too much, too fast, too emotionally. In doing so, they reveal themselves. Their fears, intentions, insecurities, and desires come out unfiltered. Silence invites honesty, not because people want to be honest, but because they lose control. Your silence creates space. That space exposes truth. When you do not interrupt, people continue talking. When you do not challenge, they explain further. When you do not react, they reveal more. Silence becomes a quiet pressure that makes pretenses collapse. This is why silence is powerful in conversations, negotiations, and conflicts. The one who speaks less often understands more, while others try to convince, the silent one observes. While others defend themselves, the silent one notices inconsistencies. Truth is found in patterns, not promises. Silence allows you to see those patterns. People may say they respect you, but their actions tell another story. They may claim loyalty, but their behavior reveals priorities. Silence gives you the patience to watch actions unfold without interference. When you do not rush to conclusions, reality speaks for itself. Silence also reveals truth within yourself. When you stop speaking, distracting, and reacting, your inner voice becomes audible. You begin to see what you are avoiding. You recognize motivations behind your choices. You understand whether your actions are driven by fear or alignment. Many people lie to themselves unconsciously. Noise supports this illusion. Silence dismantles it. In silence, there is nowhere to hide. You see the truth of your discipline, the truth of your consistency, the truth of your intentions. This clarity can be uncomfortable, but discomfort is the gateway to growth. Only when you see the truth can you change it. Silence also removes emotional manipulation. When you do not react immediately, others lose leverage. Anger loses its grip. Provocation fails. Manipulation requires emotional response. Silence denies it. In that stillness, truth becomes obvious. Who seeks control, who seeks connection, and who seeks advantage. A silent person cannot be easily deceived. They do not accept words at face value. They watch behavior over time. They trust evidence, not emotion. Silence gives them the patience required to see beyond appearances. In 2026, deception will be refined, images will be curated, stories will be edited, words will be used strategically. Those who rely on noise will be misled. Those who rely on silence will see clearly. Silence does not judge, it observes. Observation reveals truth without conflict. You do not need to expose everyone, you only need to understand. Truth understood quietly is more powerful than truth shouted loudly. When you know the truth, you move differently. You stop arguing, you stop explaining, you stop seeking validation, you act with certainty. Let silence be your teacher. It will show you who people are. It will show you who you are. And once truth is revealed, no noise can take it away. Authority is not something you demand. It is something that is felt. Most people try to appear powerful by speaking more, explaining their decisions, defending their choices, asserting their importance. But true authority does not come from volume or repetition. It comes from certainty, and certainty is born in silence. When you are silent, you stop seeking approval, you stop needing agreement, you stop asking permission for your direction. This inward stability is the foundation of inner authority. A person who is grounded does not rush to justify themselves. Silence communicates confidence without effort. When you speak less, your words carry weight. When you move without explanation, people sense intention. They may not always understand you, but they feel your presence. This presence is authority, not imposed, but recognized. Inner authority begins with self-trust. Silence allows you to listen to your own judgment without interference. When external opinions quiet down, your internal compass becomes clear. You begin to rely less on validation and more on alignment. This shift changes everything. A person with inner authority does not need to convince. They simply decide. Silence also builds emotional control. Authority over others begins with authority over yourself. When you remain silent under pressure, when you do not react emotionally, you demonstrate mastery. Others may speak loudly, argue, or provoke, but your stillness remains unshaken. This contrast establishes dominance without aggression. Calmness is intimidating to chaos. When people realize they cannot disturb your center, they respect it. Silence becomes a signal. This person is not easily moved. That is inner authority in action. Silence removes the need to explain your path. Not everyone deserves access to your reasons. Over-explaining weakens authority. It opens space for doubt, debate, and external influence. Silence closes that space. It protects your decisions from unnecessary interference. You do not owe clarity to everyone. You owe integrity to yourself. In silence, your actions speak. Consistency builds credibility. Discipline builds trust. When your behavior aligns with your values, authority forms naturally. People follow those who are steady, not those who are loud. Silence also teaches patience. Inner authority is not rushed. It develops over time through restraint, observation, and deliberate action. Those who rush to assert themselves often reveal insecurity. Those who wait build strength. Patience is a sign of self-command. In 2026, authority will not come from titles or attention. It will come from presence. People will be drawn to those who are grounded, composed, and clear. Silence cultivates this quality. A silent person is not passive. They are rooted. They know who they are, where they are going, and why they do not need to explain it. Their authority is internal, unshakable, and independent of external validation. Silence builds inner authority by removing noise. When noise fades, identity strengthens. When identity is strong, leadership follows naturally. Stand firm, speak with intention, and let your silence define your power. Action determines outcomes, but precision determines impact. Many people act constantly, yet move nowhere. They stay busy, announce plans, talk about progress, and exhaust themselves in motion without direction. Silence corrects this. Silence refines action until every movement has purpose. When you speak less, you think more. When you think more, you act better. Silence creates space between intention and execution. In that space, strategy is formed. You stop acting to impress and start acting to progress. Your energy is no longer wasted on explanation. It is directed toward execution. The loud prepare in public. The silent execute in private. When you announce your plans, you satisfy the ego before the work begins. The mind receives false completion. Silence prevents this illusion. It keeps hunger alive. It keeps urgency real. You work not for applause, but for results. Precision requires focus. Silence removes distractions. It limits unnecessary conversations. It shields your mind from opinions that dilute direction. In silence, priorities become clear. You see what matters and what does not. A focused mind does not scatter effort. Every action becomes intentional. Every step serves a larger goal. You stop reacting to everything and start responding only to what aligns with your path. Silence also protects timing. Not every move should be immediate. Not every response should be instant. Silence allows you to wait, observe, and choose the exact moment to act. Timing is invisible power. The right action at the wrong time fails. The right action at the right time multiplies results. Silence teaches patience without hesitation. A precise person does not rush. They measure. They adjust. They strike only when conditions are right. This is not hesitation, it is control. Silence reduces mistakes. When emotions settle, judgment improves. You are less likely to act from anger, fear, or pressure. Silence allows emotions to pass before decisions are made. This prevents actions you later regret. Regret comes from rushed movement. Precision comes from calm evaluation. Silence also increases accountability. When you move quietly, you rely only on yourself. There is no audience to blame, no validation to seek. Success and failure are both yours. This responsibility sharpens discipline. You become more careful, more consistent, more accurate. In silence, action becomes honest. You do not perform, you produce. In 2026, speed will be common. Precision will be rare. Those who move fast will make noise. Those who move precisely will make impact. Silence turns effort into effectiveness. It aligns action with intention. It transforms movement into mastery. You stop wasting steps and start creating progress that compounds over time. A silent action leaves no trace until it is complete, and when it is complete, it cannot be ignored. Move quietly, choose carefully, act precisely, because in the end, results speak louder than words. The crowd is loud. The crowd reacts. The crowd follows noise. To separate yourself from the crowd, you must first separate yourself from its habits. And the most common habit is constant expression. Opinions shared instantly, emotions displayed publicly, lives exposed for validation. Silence breaks this pattern. Silence creates distance, and distance creates distinction. When you choose silence, you stop moving with the masses. The crowd speaks to be seen. The disciplined remain silent to see clearly. Silence places you outside emotional contagion. While others panic, complain, or celebrate prematurely, you remain composed. This composure is rare, and rarity creates separation. Most people confuse activity with progress. They talk about goals, share struggles, and announce intentions. This keeps them feeling productive without becoming effective. Silence removes this illusion. When you stop talking, only action remains. Action is the true separator. Silence also removes the need for comparison. The crowd measures itself constantly. Who is ahead? Who is behind? Who is winning? Silence ends this cycle. When you are quiet, your path becomes internal. You stop chasing external benchmarks and start building internal standards. A person guided by internal standards cannot be controlled by trends. Silence builds independence. Independent thinkers are often misunderstood because they do not echo popular opinions. They do not rush to take sides. They wait, they observe, they decide slowly and act deliberately. This patience separates them from impulsive reactions of the crowd. Silence is not conformity. It is resistance. Resistance to noise, resistance to pressure, resistance to distraction. The crowd seeks comfort. Silence demands discipline. Most people avoid discipline. That is why silence automatically filters you into a smaller group. The few who are willing to endure stillness, uncertainty, and delayed recognition. Silence also protects your direction. When too many voices influence you, your path becomes unclear. Silence reduces interference. It strengthens conviction. You stop adjusting your goals to fit others' expectations. You move forward without explanation. You do not need permission to walk alone. In 2026, visibility will be everywhere. Everyone will share everything. The rare individual will be the one who keeps their process private and their results undeniable. Silence creates mystery. Mystery draws respect. When people cannot predict you, they observe you. When they cannot label you, they listen more carefully. Silence makes you less accessible and therefore more valuable. The crowd seeks attention. The disciplined command presence. Presence does not come from exposure, it comes from restraint. When your words are limited, they matter. When your actions are consistent, they speak. Silence separates you because it changes your relationship with time. You stop rushing to be seen and start building to last. You accept delayed recognition in exchange for lasting impact. Let the crowd talk. Let the crowd react. Let the crowd follow noise. You move differently. In silence, you step out of the crowd and onto your own path.